I'm here with Melanie Petrowski, who is standing in the Hastings Heratonga Ward by-election. Kia ora, Melanie, and thanks for joining me.
Kia ora. Thanks for having me.
No, that's good. Now, Melanie, you've put your name forward in this by-election. You're one of 7 people who've done so in that by-election. Why have you done so?
Well, I actually feel called to politics,
Yeah.
if you can believe that. I felt to do a politics diploma a few years ago. So I did that through Massey by distance. But back in, that was after 2019 when, 18, a car crashed into my house. So
Oh, yeah.
that was kind of like the starting point of my political, I don't know, vigor, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to get the council to do something about it, but nothing was done. And since then, I've actually seen quite a few fences and properties damaged because of boy races. And we've had problems with motorbikes, illegal motorbikes as well, in the park, and all over Hastings really, and Napier I've seen as well. Yeah, so I just sort of felt called to it, and little things have happened to me on the way. Yeah, to sort of prompt me to do something about it. Yeah.
Because you've stood a number of times now, both in the local elections and the general elections.
Mm.
Fortunately, you weren't successful. What makes this time different? What do you think is going to get you across the line this time?
Well, maybe people can see that I am persistent, and I guess that is connected with my work ethic as well. Um, I like to see results. I'm solution focused, and sometimes I don't take no for an answer, and I just keep pushing and till I get some kind of positive result. Um, yeah. And saying that, actually, my sort of interest in politics came before that. I was interested in when I came back from overseas back in 2015, I could see the rife homelessness,
Yeah.
and I actually got involved with Stuart Nash. I was in his volunteer team when I was at EIT doing a social work degree, and yeah, and so that it actually it started before 2018 actually. So I
Okay.
went back. Yeah, so I just, yeah, just want to sort of, I guess, correct or clarify that. Um, so I've been interested ever since 2015 really,
Yeah.
in Hawke's Bay especially. Yeah.
Now, you've got a background in the military as well. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, I was 18 at the time. I was born and bred in Hawke's Bay, and I actually really wanted to be a flight attendant, travel the world and get paid, excuse me, get paid for it.
Yeah.
So I thought, and I was too young, 20 was the minimum age for Air New Zealand back then. So I thought, well, what can I do in my time? And I thought, well, if I join the Air Force as a steward, maybe I'll get my foot in the door with Air New Zealand. So I joined as a uniformed steward in the catering trade, and I got London City and Guilds qualifications through the Air Force, and served dignitaries and government heads and overseas people and officers and so forth up in Whenuapai and Hobsonville.
Okay.
Uh, I was part of a group that we were actually one of the last groups to go through the training down in Wigram in Christchurch before it was changed and sold off.
Okay. So now, Melanie, why did you decide to leave the Air Force?
Well, the catering trade was being civilianised by Serco, I think it was. They're quite a major contractor in our military, and I couldn't really see any other trade that suited me. But in hindsight now, I should have maybe changed trades to communication or artillery, or I was actually quite a good good marksman, by one for want of a better word. So maybe I should have gone in that direction, but I just decided to get out completely.
And
And
what did you do after that?
so I stayed in Auckland, and I actually just got into a finance job, finance and insurance. I actually worked, I don't know if you remember AGC Finance, Australian
Yes.
Guarantees Corp. I actually worked for another company called Dorchester, and then Geneva Finance, which was kind of like similar to Instant Finance. And then in 2003, I decided to go over to London and do my OE, because I was reaching nearly 30, and I think 30 was the cutoff age for a work visa over there in the UK. So I was 27, 28 at the time. And so I wanted to do my 2 years OE. So I did that from 2003 to 5. Came back to Auckland and found a job working at a recording studio, the famous Stebbing recording studio in Auckland, where I was in their account side. So I've got finance background. Yeah, and I was there for a whole 9 years. So that was fun. About 2 years after I started working there in 2007, I actually became Christian. So my whole life changed. Yeah. So, and then I left Stebbing and went to Uganda in 2014. Intended on living there for 2 years, working with the children, but my finances dried up. It only lasted 5 months. I had to come home to mum for a bit here in Hawke's Bay. So,
Now, what are the issues that you stand in on for this election?
well, I am against managed retreat. I'm a big picture person, so I can see sort of the I've said this before, the overarching arm of globalism entering in our local government. And we saw it. We're seeing it now actually play out with the horrible, the results, I guess, of the decisions made after Cyclone Gabrielle. The buyout schemes and so forth. It's really taken a toll on the residents, and I believe they need more financial support and emotional support, not only from council, but from the charities that are holding, I think they're still holding millions back for these very people. I have some friends who call themselves River of Silt. So shout out to them. Penny Edwards and her team are still digging out silt from houses after a year, and they deserve a massive payout just for their work alone. But because they're not a registered charity, they can't claim anything. But they're working, they're breaking their backs to get all the silt out of the homes so the council can come along and collect it from the street. So
you will fight for people that have been affected by Cyclone Gabrielle. That's what you see your role if elected on
absolutely,
the council.
Yep. Yeah, I'd like to advocate for the millions still held by charities if that's possible. But also I'm against fluoridation of the water, which is happening. In fact, there's a protest tomorrow, Friday, the 5th of April. That I might even join.
Because the Hastings District Council has just decided to put fluoride in the water, and that's happening next week. Why are you opposed to that?
Because fluoride is a poison, in a word. It's I don't know if people realise what it is exactly. It's a bio waste hazard from aluminium. It's a metal, but it's ground down into a fine powder. And why do people who deal with it have to wear hazmat suits? It's a poison.
But the levels that we're talking about in the water are pretty low, so they wouldn't be put in if it was harmful.
Yeah, well, microdosing of poison is still poison. It's like, why we don't need it. I think it's the biggest lie that it's good for our teeth.
Yeah.
Like I said, the shots were good for us, but unfortunately, it did actually kill some people. So,
Well, I
mm,
can't verify what you're saying, but yeah, I'm sure there will people who will disagree with you on that.
well, we
Um,
well
y-
we had at least one on TV, but
yeah, just in terms of one of the big issues that councils are facing now is debt. Like we look in the Hastings District Council is sitting with $400 million of debt. They're paying $16 million a year on interest alone. As a councillor,
mm,
how will you help reduce that and also keep rate increases low?
well, we have to think of ways to save money or not spend money in the first place. The way I see it is, we've got, if Hastings was a house, we've got two massive chandeliers uh, in the form of Waiaroha, which is a water museum, which costs $100 million. Toy Toy's beautiful, and I guess we did need to spend the money on that. But we need to look at other things they do, like the fleet, the vehicles. I don't know if you're aware, but their vehicles are like brand new. Like, why do we need brand new vehicles every 1, 2, 3 years? Is there a contract that we can negotiate?
Yeah,
Is there, other things? Why does the mayor need a painting of herself?
yeah.
Can we just have a photo? Let's look at like skimming, the cream off the top and just not having wasteful spending. Just little things like that. Do we really need to, have a beautiful design in our gardens every so often? Like it's little things like that. I don't know. We just have to look at the figures and try and tweak things. Look at our loans, look at consultation fees, lawyers, so forth. Yeah, everything's negotiable,
Yeah.
and I think we need to start
Uh,
looking at that.
Having done a number of campaigns now, what are you doing differently this time to try and get people to vote for you?
I don't know. Well, I'm not spending anything. I spent a lot of money on the general election in 2020, but I'm door knocking, but I have done that before in the past. I don't know. I'm not really changing much. I'm approachable. I guess I'm not a business owner. I don't have the connections. I'm not a Freemason. No offense if you are, but it's like I don't have a network of wealthy people who can shoulder tap, and I'm just going door to door and telling people who I am and telling them I'll fight for them whatever issue they have. I've already started campaigning door to door in Clive, so yeah.
And what is your current role that you're in at the moment?
So I'm a bus driver. So hey, if Sadiq Khan, um, he was a bus driver and he's the mayor of London, so there's hope for me.
And now, why should people vote for you? If you had this is your opportunity now to get people to vote for you. What have you got to say to the voters of Hastings District Council?
I will listen to you. I will take in everything you say. I'll consider it. I'll fight for you, even if I don't agree, because everyone deserves a say and a chance to back up the reasons why they say what they want. Um, yeah, I know I'm a little person, but I have a big heart and I love this city. I love Hastings and the districts, and I just love people, and I want the best for us, And that goes for all age groups, all colours, creeds, ethnicities. Doesn't matter who you are. I will listen and I will fight for you.
Melanie Petrowski, thank you so much for your time and all the best in the elections.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thank
Cheers.
you. Bye.
Okay, bye.